All right. Yeah. Okay. We're looking at the early morning. Have a chance against the high here before the report comes out to capture a little bit of profit. Looking at Pivot Point Magnetism here early. This is called a PPM, going back towards the pivot point. As far as profit objectives, this is a 3P target, but we'll take a 2P move, which would be 6602. If we can get it, we need a 1P move is 17 today, so that's right here at 17. This is going back to the market likes to take out the high and the low. So we got the high in. We have our high volume bar right here to be able to use this. Alright, let's go ahead and get the break even on this trade. It either wants to run or not right now. So let's just make sure that we don't take a loss on it. 66.17. And we're just playing off this high and using this volume bar right here. What I've done is look back at the volume that I saw prior that made the market go up. This volume bar basically made the market go up. So we looked back at what market was telling us. The market, not market, like it's a name. And we're looking at it coming back into its own like little area right here. Be able to take advantage of a small move. Go ahead and lock in 2. See how much we can get here prior to the release of the report. Hi, Mama. There's a 1P move right there. So looking at the low, 65.77, we can possibly knock out the low prior to release the report today, or come down here and hit this low. But if we don't, we got 2 ticks prior. Let's see if we can hold on to this trade or not. Once we get to 2P, we'll protect 1P. Looking for the market to get back to pivot. Knocked me off again, didn't it? As far as trading strategies go, this is just taking advantage of running the highs, running the lows. Had problems with Demio yesterday too, since I've got this new router. I don't know why it doesn't see it, but it knocks off the knocks out the screen share for some reason. I don't know why. I asked them yesterday, and they're like, "Well, we don't have no issues with our stuff." It said something about having too many resources open, but my computer's actually doing okay as far as resources go. I've not done anything new other than add a new wireless router for the house, basically for my kids. As far as my connection goes, to it's hardwired in. Though I'll keep one eye on the screen share over there, make sure it stays up. Should be able to hear me now. Let me do this again. Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and lock in our 5 now. Going up against the pivot point right here, we could bounce. I'm looking for us to run the lows again. We ran the highs, now I'm looking for us to run the lows prior to the release of the report, or close to it. $2P on this trade is 66.02. We're too close to move to a 1P target right now. All right, let's go ahead and lock in 10. This is Pivot Point Magnetism. It's already reached the pivot point now, so now we're just protecting against that's all it wants to go. So I'm looking for a 3P move on this particular trade, which would bring it down to 65.87. Bring it down towards the low. Now if we see some high volume red bars, we'll tighten up at that point. Well, if nothing else, we'll start off in the positive column on the trading day. Hopefully we can bust through here and hit those lows prior to the market, the release of the report. I got one eye on that would be a 10:30 release today. Took advantage of the 8 o'clock open roughly. And we took advantage of the market being able to come back. Well, this is mid-range basically where we're trading right now. So this might be all she wrote to the down at this point. And if so, we'll just stand aside and wait for the inventory report to come out next. Okay, that went to 22. We'll hold 23. There it goes again, knocking out. Same thing happened yesterday too. I'll have to find out why that's going on. I've asked Demio yesterday. They're talking about resources, but I'm not doing anything different on my end. other than to put in a new router. Alright, so the trade's over. It took out 10. Had the possibility to get a lot more on this one. Still believe that we're going to run the lows. But my belief and what's going to happen are two different things. What we can say about this market right now, as this trade reached down about mid-range, 65.77, so it retraced off of this move. So we're looking at this move right here, 65.88. It just retraced basically that half of that move before coming back the other way. Market went up to 24. $25. So it bounced off a pivot, which, you know, I guess we could have taken a 1p profit target coming back up this way, but it wasn't far enough. This is only at 11 and 1p was 17, so that's not deep enough to move to that, but it was deep enough to get at least 10 ticks on the trade. So it's not a bad overall first trade to start with. We took advantage of the high of 38. We had a very tight stop, so we had 39 as our stop. So in overall, if you're looking at risk to reward, what we ended up doing, we had 33, 39, so we got 6. We got 10 risking 6. Not a bad opening trade. We were expecting the market to drop a lot deeper though, going back for the lows. The market has a tendency of running highs and lows when in doubt. So it ran the high of 66.38. It's already run the low basically. So now it just, what it did in the end now in hindsight, it ran back down to pivot point or mid-range. And I'm assuming we'll hang around this area right around the pivot, close to a pivot at least, until the release of the report now, the inventory report coming out. But hey, we started on the positive side on the day. That's not a bad thing to start with. We're waiting for Forex Factory now. We're looking for the inventory report. Actually, that's the only thing on here today, right? Left to be filled. Expecting 0.9. Forecast is for a 0.9. Alright, my apologies for the screen coming in and out. I don't know why it's doing that. I still haven't been able to get them to tell me why my screen is coming in and out. The only changes I made to my platform is add a new router. I added a new wireless router. That was basically for my kids because they were complaining about getting knocked out. But I noticed that it's causing some issues in the Demio now. The new router is like foreign, I guess, to the we didn't have any problems, so I had to keep one eye on the screen share. So until we resolve the issue, which I don't know, or move platforms, I've got to keep one eye on the screen share to make sure it's operational and working. If you see it blip off, let me know in the comment field. So what we know about this particular trade is it reached down to 1p before retracing back. It bounced off of the pivot point, which I guess in hindsight is it kind of expected. The market will use the pivot, and when in things in doubt, it'll go back towards pivot. This is safe ground, I guess, if nothing else. They like to trade back towards pivot. So what you see on this particular trade, if I would maximize profit, 66.11 to 66.33, that was worth about what, 22. Knocked it out again. Alright, so I saw it knock it out that time. My resources are not. It's flipping back and forth. Let's pause this video here though.